Alright traders, George here, and I've got a live situation that I want to share with you. This is Boeing, and this is the balance beam model. We're talking Friday morning here, and there's just been some news that in Heathrow, I guess there was a fire on a plane. Nobody hurt, just a random plane on a runway, but price obviously falling sharply here from the 108s down to sub 99. Okay, now on the balance beam, this is going back 120 days. You can see this very intense spike right here that comes in at about 98.84. Okay, right on the money there, and that's exactly where this secondary hourly candle stopped, and there's a tail pushing up there. So you can see that zone resonated with the traders quite a bit. Now obviously this is a pretty volatile reaction here, but when you look at the balance beam, this can provide a real nice on-the-fly opportunity. So looking to be a buyer north of this balance beam here. Now if the bulls can hold this low and they can hold this little break above here, they've got a shot at retesting these prior areas here. Really the 104 zone would be the main overhead resistance area, and then back up to the top here. If it rolls over, visually you can see where the risk control really pays off, because below this area here there's an air pocket. So here's what it looks like when we break it down with the entry zone, the stop, target 1, target 2. Target 1 is about a 4% gain here, right to the ceiling of this prior balance beam, right to prior structure resistance. Target 2 is going to be the open of the bearish sell candle here, and the stop is very tight, just below the low of the day so far. I should also add that traders that are seeing this and thinking that this is going to be a huge collapse, maybe looking at this on a weekly chart, and are shorting right here, this is the worst place to short of all, because this is where potential support exists, the most intense support in these upper regions here. And shorting here, they're really shorting at the worst possible spot. If anything, look for a confirmation break to new lows. And you can see now we're getting a bit more of a spike. We just hit 101s to 102s. Now we'll take a look at a more drilled down version. This is just a 1-minute chart. But what this shows here on this candle is that while price spiked up over 102.50, there's a tail pushing down, and that means that there was some sell pressure here, and really a lot of that is coming from shorts that don't know where they are. In other words, they're sitting right on a balance beam. So this could give rise to these recent sell orders right here, if they're shorts, covering if this zone holds. Now of course if this area here breaks down, they would have gotten in at the last possible moment, and that's the way it goes. But in terms of the risk control, we know where we want to be out after we're long here. They may have just put some fuel on the fire, no pun intended. Alright, so we've just gotten that candle to close, and as 5-minute candles go, this is a relatively dominant bullish candle. In fact, it's the most bullish candle that we've seen here. Now the open of that candle there now becomes an important price point to watch. It's actually just a hair north of where I entered, but for a very defensive posture, that could be a spot where you could move a stop on all or part of your position. Of all the traders that shorted in this travel distance right here, half of them are either at break even or underwater. Okay, potential extra short squeeze here aside from the regular bottom feeders coming in. Now it could bring in a round 2 of traders that wanted to short here that didn't after it moved down, but we'll see if that materializes or not. Right now we've just made a new relative high here to that spike. So in this zone right now, the timing right now, 10:17 a.m. Pacific, we'll see if we get any new shorts coming in here. If not, it will not take much at all to move it right back up to what I've got tagged here as target 1. What I showed you down here is a dominant power candle on the way up. We've got one that's even bigger, and that's this guy right here. So with the same concept, we can look at the open of this candle as a relevant zone to protect if you choose to do so. You could choose to exit part of your position here by having a resting sell order, or you could trail up and allow price to equalize up here and then potentially move up to another phase. So you don't necessarily have to take part of your position off at this target. So just a few more updates here. The position 1 trail is at 101.28. The position 2 trail is at 99.98. Price is getting close to taking out this first position here. Another phenomenon that's starting to happen now is there are traders that have gone in deep as I have here, that are taking their positions off right now. They just want to be done. It's the middle of Chicago Merc lunch. They want to get this quick hit and they're done. They're gone for the weekend. So there's a bit of that going on as well. This prior 5-minute candle here, you can see there's a pretty good tail pushing up from the bottom side, and that means that there was a lot of buy pressure here. So there's definitely a group of traders that have either covered or gone long in this region here. And again, these guys here that went short, they may have reshorted, they may have put on a second position, or people watching from the sidelines may have said, you know what, I should have shorted here, I didn't, here's my opportunity, and now I'm in. Likewise, buyers that didn't buy here and saw it go all the way up here, now they see it pulling back, they're also saying to themselves, I should have bought down here, I didn't, but here's a pullback, now is my opportunity to go in. So we really have a ball game here. There we go. So just went through my stop zone, so I'm out on position 1 there. Alright, so I'm out with my first position at 101.28. Nice scalper. I've just added it back on at 102. Okay, so that scalper is on at 102, and now the trail for the scalper is going to be here below the swing low that we just had. This low comes in at 101.07. The stop is at 101.06. And I'll make this a different color so we know that. Yet another update here, things slowing down a bit, but we're moving towards the end of Chicago Merc lunch. Anytime in the next 30 minutes, we could see a final push for the day. And for Boeing here, my add-on position, I'm moving my stop to the low of this candle here, which is essentially break even. It's a couple pennies south. It's 101.91 is what I'm using for my stop here. I could get taken out, just a little bit of noise. My second position stop is moved up to the low of this candle here. That's 101.06s. And I've also added something up to the top here, 105.50. I have a sell order in the market right now for one position. Okay, that means if we make it past this zone here and we move up here, I'm going to automatically exit at that price point. There's some special harmonics of price that are happening here. Alright traders, this great trade is still unfolding here. We've just cracked over 103s here, so we're right back to this spike high here. I'm going to trail on my second add-in here to the open of this candle here. This is at 102.50, so I'm going to 102.49s right there. And I'm going to trail my initial position here to the low of this candle here. And that low is, or the stop's going to be at 101.91. Alright, moving on here, I'm going to trail my add-on position to the low of this candle here. The low comes in at 103.26s. I'm going to trail to 103.24s there. And we'll note that my initial main target here of a 4% gain from the entry down here has been hit. Just trailed the scalper up to 103.48s here, hanging by a thread 10 cents away, and that guy will be taken out. It's right at the ceiling of the bounce beam I just showed you. And there it goes. So it just popped on that little spike right there. So the scalper is out. And now I'm trailing my trader up to 102.83. That's just south of a bounce beam shelf that exists below the ceiling here. So there's that one little spike I showed you. That's where this stop is, just below that. Alright, so just in with one position now, two scalpers out, one hit, one added, one hit. Trader still active in the market. I've got a resting sell order at 105.50s to exit the trader that's still in the market. Alright traders, more belief building for you. Position 2, trail taking out at 102.83s. Since then you can see prices dropped pretty dramatically here, so all flat. So the trader made $3.10. The scalper 1 made $1.55. The scalper 2 made $1.48. That's $615 if you're trading 100 lots, which is what I'm doing here. And that's 2 hours in the market from when this initial sell impulse occurred. So this is the time that I mentioned from 10:30 to 11:15, likely to see something. There's the big fade right there. So I've got a nice little extra gain to pick up a sandwich here as I shut down the factory for the week. A great day trading in the live room over the last couple of days. Great training session this morning. And then here's a live example of what I do when I see something like this setting up live. This is how I do it. and I wanted to share this with you live as it developed. It's a real good lesson in terms of thinking logically around price, if then, and you can see how that worked out. All right, we'll see you back in the live room next Tuesday.